Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this first video all about the Cruiserweight Classic. I am really excited about this. You have got the best Cruiserweight wrestlers from around the world. I believe there's something like 16 countries represented in a tournament. It's great to see WWE strengthening their relationships with the independent promotions. There's been several qualifying matches for this. There's been an awful lot of footage coming out from the Performance Center of these competitors training, getting ready for this tournament. The announced team is Ranillo and Daniel Bryan. Every single box has been ticked for me. This is just one of the most exciting things I have just ever seen in wrestling. It's very it reminds me a lot, very reminiscent of the Super J tournament. The Super J tournament over in Japan being for junior heavyweights, where they get all the best junior heavyweights and they have a tournament to try and find who the best is. Well, Cruiserweight, the Cruiserweight category has had a very rich history. The Cruiserweight category traditionally was up to I think about £215. WWE have dropped it down to 205. So basically this is nothing more than a tournament to find the best wrestler that weighs no more than £205. And they have got some absolute legends of the independent circuit, people that haven't had a chance to really break through. Some of them have though, and that's what's amazing. This is the bracket. This is how the competition is going to go. You're looking at the likes of Zack Sabre Jr., who is one of my favourites to win this. Noam Dar is in there. You've got Akira, Tazawa. An interesting one for me, Jack Gallagher, who looks like a lost vaudevillain. You've got the Bollywood boys, who are the current Global Force Wrestling tag team champions, and they've both been drafted onto the same side. You've got Brian Kendrick over that side, or the Brian Kendrick I should say. You've got a couple of NXT people in the likes of Johnny Gargano. You've got Tommaso Champa, you've got Rich Swan. You've also got probably the bookie's favourite in Kota Ibushi, and I think Ibushi's really the one to beat in this tournament. So that's how the card all looks, that's how the grid works. What I'll do is I want to just quickly go through each match, tell you a little bit about each guy, then we'll talk about who I think has got to be seen as the favourites to win. So in the first match, we've got Kenneth Johnson going up against Akira Tazawa. Akira Tazawa has been chosen, as we said, by Apollo Crews to be his winner. I can tell you that Kenneth Johnson is from the US. He's a small high flyer, very impressive against bigger competitors. He's competed in Ring of Honor as well, but really this match is all about Tazawa from Japan, 156 pounds. He's a technical high flyer. He graduated from the Dragon Gate Dojo. He's already faced the likes of Dean Ambrose and Sami Zayn. He's well decorated and experienced, and he has got a mean snap German suplex. Tazawa is going to be, for me, the person that gets through this top part of the bracket. Next, we've got Jack Gallagher going up against Fabian Alschner. Now, Fabian Alschner, if I've said his name correctly, I probably haven't, is absolutely new to me. Jack Gallagher, I've heard of. He's from England. He is the one I referred to as the Lost Vaudevillain. 167 pounds. He's a master grappler. He's also got an amateur MMA background as well, Jack Gallagher, but he is a submission specialist. He will tie you up in knots. Fabian from Italy, 6 foot tall, 203 pounds. He's one of the bigger cruiserweights in this tournament. He's technical, is a mainstay of the new European Championship wrestling. He is got a lot of experience behind him, but I don't think he's going to have enough to get past Jack Gallagher. Also, in this side, we've got Tajiri going up against Damian Slater. Damian Slater really excites me, but I don't see him getting past Tajiri. Damian Slater excites me because PWI, which is Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which is the magazine, or certainly one of the wrestling magazines, have included Damian Slater in their top 500 on 3 separate occasions. He's technical, he's striking, he's fantastic submission machine. He's Australian, he's 193 pounds, so he's not going to be a pushover. But he's going up against Tajiri. Tajiri has obviously made his debut in WWE in 2001. He is a 3-time WWE Cruiserweight champion, as well as a light heavyweight champion, and so on, so on, so on. As much as I rate Slater, I don't see him getting past Tajiri. Next up, we've got Alessandro Saez against Gran Metallic. Gran Metallic, man. Gran Metallic, Lucha Libre style, has competed in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's from Mexico, and he has faced Balor, Nakamura. He really is one to watch. He has got a springboard, I think it's called a Dragon Rama, which I've seen a couple of times on YouTube. Man, this guy can go. He is up against Alessandro Saez from Chile. He has held 9 championships. He's got a very Japanese style of wrestling. He really studies wrestling. He's quite Bob Backlund-ish. But yeah, this is going to be a fascinating match. For me, this is going to be one of the matches of the first round. Alessandro Saez against Gran Metallic. Next up, we've got one of the Bollywood boys. We've got Harv Sahira going up against Drew Gulak. Drew is from Philadelphia. He's a tough guy. He's a big guy. He's pushing close to 200 pounds. He's 6 foot tall. So he's one of the bigger guys in this. He's a co-holder of the Evolve Tag Team titles, and he has been a former Combat Zone Wrestling heavyweight champion. Again, he's a technical submission expert, but he's going up against one of the Bollywood boys. I don't think the Bollywood boys are going to put up too much resistance, to tell the truth, because they operate more as a tag team. This isn't a tag team competition. I see Gulak going through that. Next up, my pick to win this, the guy that I am rooting for, Zack Sabre Jr. going up against Tyson Dux. Zack Sabre Jr. from England, kind of regarded as the greatest technical wrestler in the world. He is, I think he calls it like escapology, where it's all about if you get put into a submission hold, you don't use strong style, you don't batter your way out of it, you reverse it, you escape out of it. He can slap you in a million different submission moves before you even know that he's grabbed hold of you. This guy is the real deal. He is a technical genius. He's up against Tyson Dux. I don't know much about Tyson Dux apart from the fact there is no way he gets past Zack Sabre Jr. Next up, we've got the youngest competitor in this. That's Noam Dar going up against the other Bollywood boy. I think it's Gurv Sahira. Noam Dar, as we said, from Israel, now resides over in Scotland. He made his debut in 2008. He's already been on TNA in the British Boot Camp, and he has already faced the likes of Grado, AJ Styles. He's teamed with Apollo Crews as well. I don't see any way that Noam Dar doesn't get past that, so I fully expect him to progress. Next up, we've got Davari going up against Ho Ho Lun. Ho Ho Lun coming from Hong Kong. Ho Ho Lun actually formed his own federation in Hong Kong. There wasn't a wrestling federation, so Ho Ho Lun opened one. He's going up against Davari. Davari is from Minnesota, is the brother of Davari, who was the manager of Muhammad Hussein, and also the former manager of Kurt Angle. So he has got experience. I've seen a few interviews where he's saying his brother's giving him a few pointers and whatnot. I don't think he gets past this round though, Davari. I think this is Ho Ho Lun. Ho Ho is a fierce striker. He's Asian. He's got that kind of striking Japanese style kind of, very technical You don't tend to get like high flyers over in Asia. They tend to come more from like South America, and then you get more submission wrestling when it comes from like Europe. But I expect Ho Ho Lun to get through that. Right, next up we've got Raul Mendoza against the Brian Kendrick. Raul Mendoza is a lucha libre from Mexico, started competing in 2005. He's wrestled in the AAA and in Japan Pro Wrestling, Noah style. He does breathtaking dives, I tell you. This guy can jump around, but he is going up against the Brian Kendrick. The Brian Kendrick, X Division champion, former World Tag Team champion, former WWE Tag Team champion, still recognised as having the longest Tag Team Championship reign with Paul London, which clocked in at 331 days. Brian Kendrick, technical wrestler, trained a lot of superstars, and has been credited with improving Eva Marie, which is one of his more recent projects. I've seen a video where he's talking about redemption, getting back in the ring. He was kind of let go and towards the end of his original WWE run, and he just wants a really good showing in this. I know Daniel Bryan is firmly behind the Brian Kendrick, but I think he's got a battle on his hands. Next up, we've got Antonia Bennett against Tony Nese. Tony Nese is absolutely one to watch, a dark horse, if you will. From the US, I can tell you that he is classed as the premier athlete. He has got one of the best physiques, and he has already faced the likes of Paul London, Matt Hardy. He's 196 pounds. He's a big guy. I fancy him to get through this first match. He's going up against Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett, you'll see from the hair, is quite distinctive, stands out. Good wrestler. He's a product of the world famous Monster Factory. He's a technical wrestler, again from the US, but he is only 147 pounds. He's one of the smallest guys in this. Tony Nese is just going to destroy him. Next up, Ibushi against Sean Maluta. Ibushi from Japan, the Golden Star, high-flying, technical striking from New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion on 3 occasions. He is the big time. He has already faced the likes of AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. This is the superstar of the Cruiserweight Classic. Keep your eyes on Ibushi. He is going up against Sean Maluta. I don't know much about Sean Maluta other than he is the nephew of Hall of Famer Afa Maluta, and he's a speedy grappler. He's a high flyer. He's 191 pounds. He's 5'8". It's frankly irrelevant. Ibushi gets through. Next up, we got Cedric Alexander against Clement Petiole. I think it's pronounced Petiole. Don't know. My French is rubbish. I don't know much about this guy. I know about Cedric Alexander. He's been on the scene for a decade. He's already fought the likes of Tommaso Ciampa and Kevin Owens. He's 200 pounds, high flyer. As I said, he's been on the indie scene for a long time. He's from the US, but he's up against a Frenchman, 5'9", again, almost 200 pounds. This is a real heavyweight battle in this cruiserweight tournament. Clement, trained by Lance Storm. He's got 6 years experience. It's so hard to call. It's so hard to call on that one. I just don't know enough about those guys. To tell the truth, I just see Ibushi getting through this anyway, but this is where even I get excited because I'll be watching some competitors I don't know anything about. Guy I know lots about, TJ Perkins. This guy is amazing. He has been competing for 18 years. He has been homeless because he's been trying to get to WWE. He's had tryouts and things, didn't go his way. He literally rolled the dice. He put everything into it, didn't work out. His family were relying on him. He's been under immense pressure. He's from LA. He's been wrestling since he was 13. He's New Japan, Mexico City, France, Barcelona. He's given everything that he's got. I'm firmly behind TJ Perkins. I want the boyhood dream to come true. But he is up against the Mac from Germany, £160. Quite light, but he's a high flyer. He's a 3-time tag champ on the indie scene. He's had training from Cesaro. This is a match to watch. TJ Perkins against the Mac. I'll be rooting for TJ Perkins, but it'll be a fascinating match all the same. Another fascinating match, Johnny Gargano against Tommaso Champa. You'll know these guys from NXT. They're tag team partners in NXT. Fascinating. I'm a big Gargano fan, but I love Champa as well. I'll go with Johnny on this. Both made their debuts in 2005. I can tell you that Champa is ranked 67th in the top 500 by PWI, but Johnny is ranked 51st. Both of them have got a bright future. Both of them I see him being on the main roster at some point. I think Johnny goes through this, but what a fantastic first round match. And I love the fact they've put them both together, because I'd hate to see them, you know, take out some of that talent that hasn't had a spotlight like these two have had. Put them both in the match, have a real big, you know, first round match, and let everyone else get on with, you know, showcasing themselves. Only a few more matches now. We've got next up Mustafa Ali against Lince Dorado. Ali from Pakistan, technical high flyer, well travelled, over a decade of experience. I don't know much about him. He's a small guy at £182, but he's up against a 9-year veteran in Dorado from Puerto Rico, again trained by Cesaro and Chris Hero. I don't know which way that goes. That match is a mystery to me, so I will have to reserve judgment. The final match, though, Rich Swan against Jason Lee. Not the Jason Lee that you're thinking of. Jason Lee from Hong Kong is an explosive striker, high flyer, is 5'7", £154, but he's up against one of the performers that has really impressed me. The Rich Swan had a match, I think it was against Finn Balor, and honestly, it was my jaw dropped. I loved what I saw. Rich Swan from the US. I shouldn't mention it, but I have to mention it. He lost his parents at an early age, and it's been a fight for him to succeed. He has succeeded. He is on a proper contract. I think that stops him from winning this, but he is someone I'll be rooting for. So let's talk winners. My winner, Zack Sabre Jr. Big fan. Sami Zayn's winner, Ibushi. No great surprise, I think, as we said, Bookie's favourite. Apollo Crews' winner is Tazawa. Again, as we've said throughout this video, another one to watch. Some great matches. I think TJ Perkins versus the Mac is one I'm really looking forward to. Looking forward to seeing Ibushi, who should be on the first show. Obviously, see how Zack gets off. Noam Dar, I think, is going to have a very interesting match as well. So, looking at the grid, I think we're looking at Tazawa against Zack Sabre Jr. in the one semi-final, and then Ibushi against either TJ Perkins or Rich Swan. I think Ibushi gets through, and then it's all down to, do we get an all-Japanese final, or do we have England against Japan in the final? I'll be rooting for Zack all the way, but this is mouth-watering. This is absolutely mouth-watering. I cannot wait for the first show. I know I've butchered a few people's names there. I'm very sorry, but I wanted to get this video done and out before the show starts tomorrow. But please, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because we are going to be doing a lot on the Cruiserweight Classic. Again, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Wrestling Days UK. And I would love to know your thoughts on this. Please drop it in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed, I really would appreciate if you did, because, man, I'll set up a separate playlist for this. I'm going to do a lot of videos on the Cruiserweight Classic, and I just can't wait. I cannot wait. Right, guys, have a good one, and hopefully I see you again very soon. Come on, Zack Sabre Jr.